My brother's daughter ripped my son's championship jersey in half and said, "Poor kids don't deserve team names." I stayed calm. That night, Mom texted, "This family is cutting you off permanently." My brother reacted with laughing emojis. I replied, "Perfect, keep laughing." By 12:08 a.m., Dad was calling from the driveway. The jersey tore from the collar to the hem, and the time it takes an 11-year-old to pull both hands apart, which is less than 1 second. And in less than 1 second, my son's championship jersey became 2 pieces of blue fabric on my parents' patio, and the sound the fabric made was the sound of something ending and something beginning. And the ending was the jersey, and the beginning was everything that came after. Lane was holding the right half, my brother Foss's daughter, 11 years old. She had walked up behind Teal while he was at the dessert table reaching for a brownie, grabbed the back of his jersey collar with both fists, and ripped downward. The fabric split from the neckline to the bottom hem in a straight vertical line through the number 7, turning the 7 into 2 halves that no longer looked like a number. Poor kids don't deserve team names on their back. The sentence arrived in the patio the way a sentence arrives when the sentence has been rehearsed, clearly, confidently, and with the specific delivery of a child who has heard the adults say something enough times that the saying has become the child's sentence without the child knowing the sentence was installed. 11-year-olds do not construct the phrase "poor kids" as an economic classification. 11-year-olds do not connect income brackets to the name printed on a jersey. The sentence was imported from a kitchen table where the adults discuss the sister who works at an animal clinic and the nephew who plays City League basketball, and the discussing produced the sentence, and the sentence was delivered by the youngest person in the yard because the youngest person does not know the sentence is a weapon. The youngest person thinks the sentence is a fact. Teal was standing at the dessert table with half a brownie in his hand and the other half of his jersey hanging from his shoulder. My son, 13 years old. The jersey had been on his back for 5 days since the championship, the wearing that 13-year-olds do when the winning is new and the new is the pride, and the pride is the jersey, and the jersey is the proof. He looked at the torn fabric. He looked at Lane. He did not speak. The not speaking was the silence of a boy who is scanning the adults in the yard for a response and finding none, because Foss was on the patio chair with a beer grinning, and Iona was at the table scrolling her phone, and Lauren was inside watching TV through the screen door. And nobody was moving toward the girl who had just torn a championship jersey in half on a Sunday afternoon at a family barbecue. Foss delivered his line from the patio chair without standing, without setting down his beer, without the basic physical effort of addressing his sister while her son's jersey was in 2 pieces 3 feet away. The beer was a Michelob Ultra, the beer that Foss drinks at every family event, the beer that costs $9.99 per 6-pack. The beer that Foss buys with money earned at a car dealership where his income is $62,000 and his insurance is subsidized by his sister, and his phone is funded by his sister, and his mortgage is co-signed by his sister. And the beer was in the hand of a man who was about to dismiss the sister's career and the sister's son and the sister's $48,000 salary as if the salary is the problem and not the solution, because the salary has been solving Foss's financial problems for 3 years, and the solving is invisible, and the invisible is the funding, and the funding is about to end. Relax, Elin. It is a City League jersey from a gym that smells like bleach. Your kid dribbles at a rec center and you frame it like he made the draft. Maybe if you spent less time cleaning kennels and more time being a real parent, your son would not need a participation trophy to feel special. The jersey cost what? $20? Let it go. Cleaning kennels. The description my brother uses for my career. The career that is not cleaning kennels but is veterinary technology, which is surgical assistance, anesthesia monitoring, dental cleanings, radiographs, blood panels, wound management, and the specific hands-on medical care that keeps animals alive while the veterinarian makes the diagnosis. The career requires a 2-year degree, a state license, and the ability to hold a 70-pound dog still while inserting an IV catheter. The career is not cleaning kennels. But the career is performed by a woman, and the woman earns $48,000, and the $48,000 is less than Foss's $62,000 at the car dealership, and the less is the dismissal, and the dismissal is the kennel. Iona added her line from the table without looking up from her phone. The phone that is on my family plan. The phone whose $85 monthly bill is paid by the daughter whose son's jersey was just ripped. She is 11, Elin. Children are rough. Stop overreacting. It is fabric. It is fabric. The sentence a mother uses when the fabric is a championship jersey with a 13-year-old's name on the back, the name that was printed because the boy earned it across 24 games and 4 years of practice, and the specific early morning Saturday commitment that requires a parent to drive to a gym at 7 a.m. every week for 4 years, and the driving parent was me. And the driven boy was Teal, and the jersey was the proof of both. I picked up both halves of the jersey from the patio. I folded them together. I put them in my bag. I took Teal's hand. I walked to the car. I buckled him in. I drove home. And the driving was silent, because the silence was the deciding, and the deciding was happening in my head while the road moved under the car, and the boy sat in the passenger seat with brownie on his fingers and no jersey on his back. Teal said one thing on the drive. She did it on purpose, Mom, I know. Nobody said anything, I know that too. Welcome to Family Secret Tales, where the person who takes care of animals for a living is about to stop taking care of a family that ripped her son's jersey and called it fabric. If your family has ever destroyed something your child earned and told you to stop overreacting, subscribe now. Because the text says cutting you off permanently, and the reply says perfect. Keep laughing, and the laughing stops at midnight. My name is Elin Shale. I am 35 years old. I am a veterinary technician at Bluff City Animal Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee. I assist in surgeries, monitor anesthesia, run lab work, take radiographs, and manage post-operative care for approximately 40 animals per week. My salary is $48,000 a year. I hold a state license. I have been doing this for 12 years. My family calls it cleaning kennels because the cleaning is the only part they see when they visit, and the seeing is the dismissal. And the dismissal has been happening for 12 years. My coworker Ames is 44. She has been a vet tech for 20 years. She is the person I called from my car at 6:30 p.m. Parked in my driveway with Teal inside the house and the jersey halves in my bag. His cousin ripped it off his back? Vertical collar to him. Threw the number while he was reaching for a brownie. And Foss grinned. And Iona said, "It is fabric." And Lauren was inside watching TV. The girl learned that from the adults. And the adults are funded by you. Cancel the funding. Let the fabric be the last thing they take from you. Ames is right. The funding is mine. The canceling is mine. And the family that called the jersey fabric is about to learn the cost of fabric. When I showed Ames the photo of the ripped jersey, she looked at it for 3 seconds and said, "That girl did not decide to rip a jersey. That girl was told that the jersey is worthless." The ripping is the lesson she learned at a table you were not sitting at. The adults taught the ripping. The girl performed it. Ames has a son who plays baseball. When her son made the all-star team, Ames framed the roster and hung it in the break room at the clinic. The framing was the honoring. The honoring is what parents do. My family does not honor Teal's achievements. My family compares Teal's achievements to Lane's achievements, and the comparison always favors Lane because Lane is loud and athletic and performs the version of childhood that Iona values, which is visible, competitive, and funded by someone else's money. The favoritism is structural. Foss has been the preferred child since he was born, the boy after the girl, the son Lauren wanted. When Foss got the sales job at the dealership, Iona threw a dinner. When I passed my state veterinary technician exam, Iona said, "Good, now you have benefits." The dinner was for Foss. The sentence was for me. The disparity is the architecture, and the architecture has been standing for 35 years. When Foss bought the house in Bartlett, Lauren gave a toast at Thanksgiving to Foss, the first Shale to own property. I had owned my house in Whitehaven for 2 years at the time of the toast. 2 years. The toast that said first Shale to own property was given in the same dining room where the second Shale to own property was sitting, and the sitting was the silence, and the silence was the erasure, and the erasure has been the pattern for 35 years. Teal is 13. He is quiet. He practices more than he talks. He is the kind of player coaches notice, because the noticing happens when a boy does the work without needing to be told, and the doing without being told is the discipline, and the discipline came from his mother. And his mother learned discipline from 12 years of holding animals still for procedures that require precision, and the precision was transferred from the clinic to the driveway to the gym to the court. The championship game was the previous Monday. Whitehaven Wolves versus Cordova Cougars. City League Finals. The Whitehaven Community Center gym was full for the first time all season. 180 people. Teal started at shooting guard. He scored 14 points, 4 mid-range jumpers, and 6 free throws. He grabbed 7 rebounds. The Wolves won 52-48. The coordinator handed out jerseys at center court, blue-white lettering. Number 7, Shale on the back. Teal held it for 8 seconds before putting it on. 8 seconds of a 13-year-old looking at his name on a jersey and understanding that the name was earned. He wore it for 5 days. 5 days of pride. 5 days of a boy wearing the thing he won. On day 5, his cousin ripped it off his back at a barbecue while he was reaching for a brownie. Day 5 was the last day the jersey was whole. Day 5 was the first day the jersey became evidence. My ex-husband lives in Little Rock. He calls Teal on Sundays. He sends $490 on the first. The $490 and the Sundays are his. The rest is mine. Every practice drive to Whitehaven Community Center at 7 a.m. on Saturday. Every Tuesday, Thursday evening session. Every $2,200 concrete driveway pad with a hoop mounted on the pole. Every $40 championship jersey. Mine, what my family does not know, is what I fund. Foss's mortgage, I co-signed 3 years ago when Foss bought a house in Bartlett. $1,400 a month. Foss's credit score was 540. The minimum for the loan was 640. The gap was my signature, 3 years. $5,400 in payments that Foss has made, held stable by my credit score on the cosign. If my signature is removed, Foss must requalify. His credit score cannot hold the loan. The loan enters default review. The house is at risk. And Lauren also co-signed the same mortgage, which means if Foss defaults, Lauren's credit takes the hit alongside mine. The removal of my signature does not just threaten Foss, it threatens Lauren. The midnight driveway visit was not about Foss's house. It was about Lauren's credit.
Foss's car insurance, $240 a month on my policy for 2 years, $5,760. Because Foss's individual rate after 2 speeding tickets and a fender bender was $520, and the $520 was reduced to $240 on my multi-vehicle discount. Parents, internet, and streaming, $165 a month for 3 years, $5,940. Internet, $95. Netflix/Hulu, Disney Plus, $70. All on my card. Foss's phone, on my family plan.
$85 a month for 3 years, $3,060. The phone that sent laughing emojis about a ripped jersey,
Total invisible support, $5,760 insurance plus $5,940 internet plus $3,060 phone, $14,760 in ongoing support, plus the mortgage cosign that holds a $1,400 that month house payment, from the woman who cleans kennels, Sunday evening, 8 p.m. The family group chat lit up, Iona, 8 p.m.
This family is cutting you off permanently. You walked out of a BQ without a word. You embarrassed your brother. You embarrassed his daughter. If you cannot handle children being children without storming off, then you are not welcome at family events. Permanently, Foss responded at 8:02 p.m. 3 laughing emojis. No text. 3 yellow faces that are the digital equivalent of a man endorsing his mother's declaration while sitting in a house whose mortgage his sister co-signed. I typed 4 words at 8:04 p.m. Perfect, keep laughing. 4 words. The 4 words did not contain a threat, did not contain a plan, did not mention a car loan or a mortgage or an insurance policy or a phone plan. The 4 words were a door closing with a smile, and the smile was the last thing the family saw before the calls started. Between 8:30 p.m. and 11 p.m., I made 4 calls. Call 1, 8:30 p.m. The mortgage company. I identified myself as a co-signer on mortgage account ending 6138, property at 4712 Bartlett Road. I requested co-signer removal. The representative explained, the primary borrower must requalify within 30 days. Foss's credit score, 540, would not meet the threshold. The loan would enter default review. The representative also noted that a second co-signer, Lauren Shale, remained on the loan and that any default would impact his credit as well. I almost did not make the call. The mortgage is shelter. Foss has a daughter. The house is where Lane lives. But the jersey stopped me, the 2 halves in my bag, the vertical tear through the 7. The tear that Lane made while Foss grinned, and Iona said it is fabric, and Lauren watched TV through a screen door. The jersey is fabric, the mortgage is paper, and the paper is about to learn what happens when the fabric is torn. Call 2, 9 p.m. The auto insurance company. I removed Foss's vehicle from my policy. His rate would return to $520 per month. The $280 monthly increase was the cost of 2 speeding tickets, an fender bender, and a grin at a patio table. I almost left the insurance active. Car insurance is essential. Foss drives to the dealership every day. But the word kennels stopped me. Cleaning kennels. The phrase Foss uses for my career. The career whose income pays the insurance that protects the car that drives Foss to the dealership where Foss sells cars for $62,000 a year and calls his sister's $48,000 career cleaning kennels. The kennels just stopped cleaning the insurance. Call 3. 10 p.m. The phone carrier. I removed Foss's line. The $85 a month was done. The laughing emojis were the last 3 things that phone would send on my plan. I almost kept the phone active, but the emojis stopped me. 3 laughing faces sent at 8:02 p.m. about a 13-year-old's championship jersey ripped in half. The laughing was the last sound that phone made on my dime. Call 4. 10:30 p.m. The internet provider. I canceled the parents' account, $165 a month, internet and streaming. The screen would go dark by Monday. I almost left the internet running for Lauren, but the screen door stopped me. The screen door Lauren was watching TV through while his grandson's jersey was being ripped on the patio 10 feet away. The screen door was the barrier Lauren chose between himself and the ripping. The screen is going dark. Welcome back to Family Secret Tales. If you were the mother who typed perfect, keep laughing, and then made 4 calls while the family slept, hit subscribe. Because the mortgage removal hits the system at midnight, and the father who co-signed is about to get a call he was not ready for. Sunday, 11:44 p.m. Lauren's phone rang. Not a family member calling. An automated alert from the mortgage company. The alert said, a cosigner has been removed from mortgage account ending 6138. Requalification is required within 30 days. Contact your loan servicer. The alert woke Lauren at 11:44 p.m. The waking was the beginning of the understanding, and the understanding took 4 minutes to complete. 4 minutes of a 62-year-old man in a dark bedroom reading an automated text and connecting the dots. Elin was the cosigner. Elin typed perfect. Keep laughing. The laughing was the warning. The warning was the removal. And the removal threatens Lauren's credit because Lauren is the other cosigner. And if Foss defaults, Lauren's credit score drops, and the dropping affects his own mortgage, his own insurance rate, and the retirement credit line he opened last year. At 11:48 p.m., Lauren called me. No answer. At 11:52 p.m., Lauren got in his car. At 12:08 a.m., Lauren was in my driveway. The 12-minute drive from Bartlett to my house in Whitehaven at midnight was the fastest 12 minutes Lauren had driven since the night Foss was born. And the speed was the panic, and the panic was the credit score, and the credit score was the thing that connected Lauren to the mortgage, that connected Lauren to the cosign, that connected Lauren to the daughter he watched TV through a screen door while her son's jersey was being ripped. The knock was at 12:08 a.m., not the doorbell, a knock. The knock of a man whose credit is at risk and whose risk was created by the removal of a signature that belongs to the daughter who typed perfect. Keep laughing 3 hours ago and meant every word. I opened the door. The framed team photo was on the mantel behind me, visible through the hallway. The championship photo I had printed and framed the day after the game. 12 boys in blue jerseys. Teal third from left. Number 7. Shale on the back. The photo I had brought to the Bebic to show the family. The photo that stayed in my bag because the ripping happened before the showing. You removed your name from the mortgage. I removed my name from a mortgage I co-signed for a man whose daughter ripped my son's jersey off his back while the man grinned, and his mother said it is fabric, and his father watched TV through a screen door. My credit is on that loan, Elin. If Foss defaults, my score drops 200 points. My own mortgage adjusts. My retirement credit line gets reviewed. I could lose the line entirely. You were behind a screen door, Dad, 10 feet from the patio, 10 feet from your grandson standing in a torn jersey. You heard Lane say poor kids do not deserve team names. You heard Foss call my career cleaning kennels. You heard Iona say it is fabric, and you stayed behind the screen door watching a game that mattered less than the boy on the patio whose game was just dismissed by every adult in the yard. I did not hear what Lane said. The TV was on. The TV was on because you turned it on. You turned it on at the Bebic where your grandson was wearing his championship jersey, the jersey he earned in 24 games over 4 years. You chose the TV over the patio. You chose the screen door over your grandson, and the choosing produced the not hearing, and the not hearing was the permission, and the permission allowed the ripping, and the ripping is the reason I removed my name from the mortgage at 8:30 p.m. tonight. Lauren's hands were shaking. The shaking of a man whose retirement credit line is connected to a mortgage that is connected to a cosign that was removed 4 hours ago by a daughter who typed perfect. Keep laughing and meant it. How much do I fund, Dad? Let me tell you. Because the family thinks the jersey is fabric and the career is cleaning kennels and the funding is invisible. The funding is not invisible. The funding is $240 a month for Foss's car insurance. 2 years. $5,760. The funding is $165 a month for your internet and streaming. 3 years. $5,940. The funding is $85 a month for Foss's phone. 3 years. $3,060. Total ongoing support, $14,760. From the woman who cleans kennels. I held up my phone. The mortgage account screen was visible, plus the mortgage cosign, $1,400 a month. 3 years. The cosign that holds Foss's house on Bartlett Road. The house where the girl who said poor kids do not deserve team names sleeps in a bedroom that exists because the poor kid's mother signed a paper at a closing table. The signature is removed. The house is Foss's problem. And because you also co-signed, Dad, the house is your problem too. The problem is, Foss's credit score is 540. The minimum is 640. The gap is 100 points. And the gap was my credit score. And my credit score just left the loan. Lauren looked at the ground looking of a man whose financial stability is connected to his daughter's signature, and whose daughter's signature was the invisible infrastructure holding the family together, and the infrastructure just collapsed because a jersey was torn, and a career was mocked, and a grandmother said it is fabric, and a grandfather watched TV. Foss will apologize. Lane will apologize. Your mother will call you tomorrow. I will personally drive Lane to your house, and she will apologize to Teal face to face. Just put your name back on the mortgage. Please, Elin. The mortgage company does not accept apologies as co-signer reinstatement. The removal is in the system. Foss has 30 days to requalify. His credit cannot hold it. And the apology you are offering is for a jersey that was already repaired, and a word that was already spoken, and a grin that was already grinned. The apology is late. The removal is not. I looked at Lauren. Perfect. I kept laughing too, all the way to the mortgage company, the insurance, and the phone carrier. Nobody is laughing now. The killing line landed at 12:20 am on a porch in Whitehaven, Memphis, and the landing was the tone of a woman who does not raise her voice because the numbers do the speaking. And the numbers are $1, $400 mortgage, and $240 insurance, and $165 internet, and $85 phone, and the numbers are all zeros now. Lauren stood on the porch for 2 minutes after I closed the door. 2 minutes of a man whose credit score is connected to a mortgage whose other co-signer just removed herself, and the 2 minutes were the time between the closed door and the car. Engine starting, and the engine starting was the leaving, and the leaving was the drive back to Bartlett, where the house that Foss owns sits on a loan that has 30 days before the review, and the review is the beginning of the consequence, and the consequence started with a torn jersey at a BBQ. The fallout arrived in the order that support collapses, first the mortgage, then the insurance, then the phone, then the screens, and then the reputation. Foss received the 30-day requalification notice on Tuesday. The notice arrived by mail, a single page from the mortgage company, with a case number and a deadline and the specific language that mortgage companies use when a cosigner has been removed and the primary borrower must demonstrate independent creditworthiness. Foss's credit score, 540, was 100 points below the 640 threshold. He called 3 lenders in the Memphis area. None would refinance at 540. The house at 472 Bartlett Road, the 3-bedroom ranch that Foss bought with my signature and Lauren's signature because his own signature was insufficient, was 30 days from a default review. Foss called me Wednesday. The call went to voicemail. The voicemail was 38 seconds long. You cannot do this, Elin. This is my house. Lane's room is here. Her school is here. You are going to make my daughter homeless over a jersey. Call me back. The word homeless was the word Foss chose for the potential consequence of his daughter ripping my son's jersey, while he grinned and offered to Venmo $20. The word homeless applied to Lane was supposed to produce guilt. The word produced something else, the reminder that Foss had used the word poor through his daughter's mouth about my son. And the poor was the dismissal of a boy whose mother pays for the house where the dismissal is learned. The homeless and the poor are the same word from different sides of the same door. And the door is the cosign, and the cosign was removed. I did not call back. The not calling was the response. The same silence the family gave to the Jersey, the same nothing they gave to the boy on the patio. The nothing was returned. Foss's car insurance rate returned to $520 per month on Thursday. The first bill at the new rate arrived the following week. $520 per month. $280 more than the $240 he had been paying on my policy. The $280 monthly increase was the cost of 2 speeding tickets, a fender bender, and a grin at a barbecue. Foss's take-home pay from the dealership after taxes was approximately $30,800 per month. The $1,400 mortgage plus $520 insurance plus utilities plus Lane's expenses produced a monthly budget that was $600 in deficit without the sisters' support, and the deficit was the shape of the funding removed, and the funding was the sister who cleans kennels. Foss's phone died Monday morning at 9 a.m. His dealership clients called a number that returned this number is no longer in service. The $85 a month that kept the phone active was the sister's payment, and the sister typed perfect, keep laughing, and the laughing stopped when the phone stopped. Foss purchased a prepaid plan at Cricket Wireless on Wednesday, $35 a month. The $35 phone did not have the contact list from the old phone, because the contact list was on the old SIM, and the old SIM was on the old plan, and the old plan was canceled, and the canceled took the contacts, and the contacts were 4 years of dealership clients who now had to be entered one by one from business cards that Foss may or may not have kept. The internet went dark at the parents' house Monday evening at 7 p.m. Lauren was watching the evening news when the screen showed no signal. Iona was streaming a cooking show when the app showed subscription expired. The $165 a month that had kept both screens lit for 3 years was the daughter's money, and the daughter was cut off permanently, and the permanently now included the screens. Lauren opened his own internet account the following week. The monthly was $108 with equipment rental and a new customer setup fee of $75. The $108 was not the $165 that included streaming. The streaming was separate. The streaming required Iona to open her own Netflix, Hulu, and Disney Plus accounts, totaling $47.47 per month in streaming that had been free, because the daughter was paying and the paying was invisible, and the invisible is now visible, and the visible is $47.47 plus $108, and the total is $155.47 per month that is now Lauren and Iona's responsibility. Iona texted me Tuesday morning, not in the group chat. Privately, the privacy was the strategy of a woman who does not want the group to see the begging. Your father is not sleeping. His credit is at risk. Foss is panicking about the house. This has gone too far over a Jersey, Elin. You need to fix this. I responded, the family cut me off permanently. Permanently includes the mortgage, the insurance, the phone, and the internet. The Jersey was the last thing this family tore. The funding was the next. I did not mean permanently. The chat is timestamped, Mom, 8 p.m. Sunday. This family is cutting you off permanently. Your word. Your timestamp. Your permanently. And the permanently is now applied to every bill I was paying. The word is yours. The application is mine. Foss's daughter is going to lose her home. Foss's daughter ripped my son's jersey off his back and said poor kids do not deserve team names. The home where Foss's daughter lives is a home whose mortgage I co-signed because Foss's credit was too low to qualify a loan. The poor kid's mother signed the paper that gave the rich kid a house, and the rich kid ripped the poor kid's jersey, and the mother removed the paper. The math is not complicated. Iona did not respond. The not responding was the first time Iona had received the word permanently back in a context she could not argue with, because the context was her own text, and the text was time-stamped, and the timestamp was the evidence, and the evidence was permanent. Foss's colleague at the dealership, a man named Warren, asked Foss on Friday why his phone had been off for 4 days. Foss said carrier issue. Warren said your sister posted about the jersey in the family group. The family group chat, which included extended family across Memphis and Little Rock, had been read by 14 people. The 14 had seen the chat, Iona's cutting you off permanently, Foss's laughing emojis, and Elin's perfect. Keep laughing. The 14 had also received, via Aunt Odessa, the photos of the ripped jersey that I had sent to Odessa directly. The photos showed the jersey in two halves, the number 7 split down the middle, the name Shale on the back visible on both pieces. The photos did not require interpretation. The photos were the evidence, and the evidence was in 14 phones. Aunt Odessa called Iona on Thursday. The girl ripped his jersey, Iona, at a barbecue, while the family watched. And you texted cutting you off permanently to the mother who pays for your internet. What were you thinking? Iona said it was fabric. Odessa said the mortgage was paper, and the paper just left. The iron-on patch was a mother's repair, not a seamstress job. Done at the kitchen table on a Wednesday evening with an iron and a piece of matching blue fabric and a YouTube tutorial. The tutorial was 6 minutes. The applying took 20 minutes. The patch covered the tier line from collar to hem in a strip of blue fabric, one shade lighter than the original. A stitch closes a wound. A patch covers one. The covering was the choice. Make the jersey wearable, the name readable, the boy playable. 3 weeks later, Overton Park Gymnasium, Memphis, away game, 7 p.m., first game of the new season. Whitehaven Wolves versus East Memphis Eagles. The gym was smaller than the Whitehaven Community Center. The bleachers were wooden. The scoreboard was manual, the kind where a volunteer flips the numbers by hand. And the hand flipping is the charm of City League basketball. The charm that Foss called a gym that smells like bleach, and that smells like bleach and floor wax and rubber and the beginnings of things. Teal walked onto the court wearing the jersey. Number 7, Shale on the back, blue fabric with a lighter blue patch running collar to hem. The patch was visible. The patch was the repair, and the repair was the mother's. The mother who was told to stop overreacting. The mother whose career was called cleaning kennels. The mother who typed perfect, keep laughing, and then made 4 calls, and removed a mortgage cosign, and canceled an insurance policy, and killed a phone line, and turned off the internet, and the turning off was the consequence. And the consequence was permanent, and the permanent was the word the family chose, and the word the mother returned. The referee blew the whistle. Tip off. The Wolves won the tip. The point guard brought the ball up the left side and swung it to the wing. The wing drove baseline, drew the defense, and kicked it to Teal at the elbow. The elbow is the spot where a shooting guard catches the ball with his feet set and his eyes on the rim, and the muscle memory of 4 years of practice tells the hands what to do before the brain finishes deciding. 4 years of Saturday mornings at 7 a.m., 4 years of Tuesday, Thursday evenings, 4 years of a concrete driveway pad with a hoop on a pole and a mother watching from the kitchen window. The 4 years were in the hands, and the hands caught the ball. Teal squared his shoulders. He bent his knees. He released the ball with the arc that a $2,200 driveway court and 4 years of repetition produce. The arc that is not learned in one season, but built across many seasons and many mornings, and many misses that eventually become makes. The ball went in. First basket of the season. 2 points. The net snapped. The sound the net makes when a ball passes through cleanly is a specific sound, the sound of a shot that was practiced 10,000 times on a driveway and executed once on a court, and the executing was the proof, and the proof was the sound, and the sound filled a gym that smells like bleach and floor wax and the beginnings of things. The gym produced a cheer from the Wolves section, a small cheer. The cheer of parents and siblings in a City League gym on a Tuesday evening in Memphis. Not the NBA, not the finals, Not a participation trophy, a real basket, in a real game, by a boy in a patched jersey whose patch runs collar to hem in a shade of blue that is one shade lighter than the original, because the replacement fabric came from a craft store and not from the league, and the craft store is where mothers go when the league jersey has been torn by a cousin and the mother decides to repair it instead of replace it, because the repairing is the keeping and the keeping is the honoring, and the honoring is this jersey was earned and the earning survives the tearing. I was in the bleachers. Third row. The framed championship team photo was in my bag on the bleacher next to me. The photo I had printed the day after the championship and brought to the Bebek to show the family. I had planned to show it during dessert. I had planned to hold it up and say this is Teal's team and let the family see the 12 boys in blue jerseys and the trophy in the center and the name Shale on the back of the boy third from left. I never showed it. The ripping happened before the showing. The showing was supposed to be the honoring. The honoring was supposed to be the family seeing the photo and saying something, anything, that acknowledged the boy's achievement. The family did not see the photo. The family saw a jersey and called it fabric. The family saw a championship and called it a rec league. The family saw a boy and called him poor. The photo is in my bag. The jersey is on the court. The photo shows the jersey whole. The court shows the jersey patched, the before and the after. And the after has a patch and a basket and a season and a boy who is playing. Because the playing is the earning, and the earning is the name on the back, and the name survived the ripping because the name is not on the fabric. The name is on the boy. Foss's world, 3 weeks after the Bebek, a 30-day notice on a mortgage he cannot requalify for. A credit score of 540 that no lender will touch. A car insurance bill of $520 that his take-home cannot absorb. A phone that lost 4 years of dealership contacts. A father whose retirement credit line is at risk because of the same mortgage. A family group chat where 14 people have seen the ripped jersey photos and the permanently text and the laughing emojis. A voicemail that said you are going to make my daughter homeless over a jersey sent to the sister whose signature gave the daughter a home. A colleague at the dealership who knows about the jersey because the family chat reached 14 phones, and the 14 phones include people who talk. And a daughter, Lane, who said poor kids don't deserve team names about a boy whose mother's credit score was the only thing between Lane's bedroom and a default notice. My world, third row of a gym in Overton Park, my son on the court, a patched jersey, a first basket, a framed photo in my bag, a season starting, and a family that is not in the bleachers because the family cut itself off permanently. And the permanently was the mother's word returned, and the returning was the mortgage, and the insurance, and the phone, and the internet, and the silence that follows when the person who is funding the laughing stops funding, and the laughing stops, and the stopping is the sound of permanently applied to thee. People who chose it. The patch held. The jersey held. The boy held the ball at the elbow and the shot went in. And the going in was the season. And the season was new. And the new did not require the family's approval, or the family's presence, or the family's permission, or the family's definition of which kids deserve team names on their back. The deserving is the playing. The playing is the earning. The earning is the name, and the name survived, and the earning is enough. Welcome back to Family Secret Tales. If this story reminded you that the person who funds the family decides when the funding stops, and that a jersey is not fabric but a season of work and a name earned by a boy who practices on a driveway court his mother paid for, share it tonight. Hit subscribe, drop a comment, and tell me, has your family ever destroyed something your child earned and told you to stop overreacting? I will see you in the next one.